The series begins with Jin, a beautiful girl bound like a prisoner, being presented in front of the king in a trial scene where the people demand her execution. The king intervenes, saying that she cooked a meal he liked, and he decides to appoint her as the palace's head chef on the condition that she always pleases him, or else the punishment will be death. He frees her from her restraints, and she agrees to his request to buy time, then turns to the camera and tells the viewers she will explain how she ended up in this situation. We return to the present to learn Jin's story, where she participates in the largest cooking competition in France, the Golden Pan. She reaches the finals with 3 other chefs, but faces a problem when the stove breaks down. She is forced to use straw fire to cook her dish, despite the objections of the maintenance worker. She finishes the dish at the last second and presents it to the judges, a venison steak cooked in a medieval style. They are greatly impressed, and Jin wins the grand prize of 100,000 euros. After winning the competition, Jin talks to her father, who asks her to bring an ancient book that a friend had sent him. On the plane, coffee accidentally spills onto the book, so she goes to clean it and discovers a mysterious sentence inside. During a solar eclipse, the book glows and pulls her in, transporting her through time, causing her to fall into an old hunting net unconscious. At the same time, we see the king, who appeared at the beginning of the story, going hunting with his guards on the day of the eclipse, ignoring the rituals he's supposed to attend at the palace. He remembers the death of his mother and grows angrier, while the advisors and women complain about his absence. Despite his guards' warnings about the wrath of the heavens, he dismisses it. The scene ends with Jin waking up in the forest, caught in the net, confused and unaware of where she has ended up. Jin tries to use her phone but finds no signal, and then she is caught in a barrage of arrows as the king hunts a fox. She falls from the net but manages to survive by hiding. She encounters the king, who believes she is the ghost his guards warned him about, and he attempts to kill her. Jin, flustered, runs and screams, then confronts him with an electric stun gun he doesn't understand, insisting that she is human and a chef, while he insists she is a ghost. They argue sarcastically, and she mistakes him for an actor in a historical drama, which only angers him more. He shoots an arrow that hits her bag instead of her. She responds with comedic threats, claiming she will call the police and have him arrested. The king threatens Jin with a sword, but she tries to stun him unsuccessfully. Suddenly, rebels attack him, and both he and Jin fall from the mountain into the river. Jin wakes up and finds the king injured. She stops his bleeding and bandages his wound, but she can't find her phone. As she searches, he thinks she is trying to stab him with his dagger and threatens her. She explains that she saved him, but he doesn't believe her and orders her to die in silence. She defends herself, takes the dagger from him, and runs away. The king, in his authority as the king of Joseon, screams for her to stop, but she ignores him and leaves. Jin threatens the king with her knife and showcases her skills as a chef, but he overpowers her and restrains her. During their struggle, she gains the upper hand, knocks him unconscious and ties him up. However, she doesn't leave him alone. Instead, she insists on taking him with her. The king believes she is planning to kill him, while she reassures him that if she had wanted to do so, she would have already. They continue walking together until nightfall, at which point the palace begins to worry about his absence. During their rest, the king asks for water, and Jin mocks him, insisting that he is not a real king, and that his clothes are merely costumes that could be bought at any store. Jin continues to tease the king, but he jokingly mocks her back, prompting her to slap him. He realizes her boldness. They enter a house in the royal hunting area, where he tells her that the entire land belongs to him. She accuses him of being like a tyrannical king from a history lesson. He defends himself and justifies his actions, but she doesn't believe him and ties him to a tree before changing her clothes. While exploring the house, she is surprised by a girl who attacks her with a broom and accuses her of stealing because she entered the house and wore its clothes, then violently kicks her out. Jin explains to the girl that she is lost and seeking help. The girl tells her that they are in the royal hunting area. The girl's words confirm Jin's suspicion that she may have traveled through time. Both of them become hungry and agree to make a simple meal with vegetables and rice. Jin uses butter and red pepper paste that she brought with her to make the dish special. After preparing the food, she tries to feed the injured king despite his refusal and doubts about her intentions, but she insists and treats him like a child. Eventually, he tastes the food, and he likes its appearance and taste, despite the heat from the chili peppers. Jin and the girl enjoy the spicy food, while the king hesitates but asks for more after she reminds him of how his mother used to feed him. This touches him, and his eyes fill with tears. After eating, Jin covers him as he sleeps, and the girl mistakenly thinks he is her husband. Jin clarifies that the situation is different and encourages the girl to search for her bag. By the river, they get to know each other better, and the girl reveals that she is hiding from the selection. Meanwhile, the king's men arrive in the forest with orders to bring Jin back. While she and the girl are talking, Jin notices some people and calls out to them. Jin tries to call out to a group of people, but her friend Guillaume stops her, explaining that they kidnap girls for the selection. Unfortunately, they are discovered and taken to prison together, where Jin loses her composure and screams, insisting that she doesn't belong there. The guards beat them and gag their mouths. While in prison, Jin recalls everything that happened since she won the cooking competition, her encounter with the king, and his attempt to kill her, confirming that he truly is the king. Eventually, a guard comes to take the prisoners to choose who will be presented to the king, and Jin is terrified, fearing he might see her and kill her. During the selection, Jin is asked her age, and she says 27. She is excluded with a group that won't meet the king, feeling relieved. Yum lies and says she's 30, even though she's much younger, and they are both excluded together, happy to stay together. The rejected girls are sent to work in the palace kitchen, while the king and his guards continue searching for Jin in the forest and find evidence that she has fallen into the hands of the selection hunters. In the kitchen, Jin is amazed by the old tools and starts evaluating the ingredients, but she notices the food is poor and repetitive. When she asks the women about it, they tell her that they are newcomers and only know this kind of cooking. She also learns that the previous workers stole the ingredients and ran away. Suddenly, it's announced that important guests will arrive that night, and they must prepare a good meal or disaster will strike. Jin asks why they are working in the kitchen, and one of the men explains that they came through the selection but failed. She responds that she should leave, and he threatens her with punishment. Then, a higher-ranking official appears and asks her about her identity. Jin suggests cooking a meal that will please the guests in exchange for their release. He agrees, but only on the condition that she succeeds, or else her fate will be death. Jin gathers the women in the kitchen and organizes a plan, and they all begin working enthusiastically under her leadership, with the help of her friend Guillaume. Jin uses a piece of meat Guillaume brought and decides to make it the main dish. She prepares it in a special way by wrapping, cooking, and then grilling it. Two important guests arrive, an elderly man and his son, who are friends of the king and responsible for sorting the girls for the selection. While Jin is busy preparing the dish, the two men begin inspecting the girls one by one, but are unimpressed by any of them. Meanwhile, Jin takes the meat out, perfectly cooked, and its aroma and appearance amaze everyone. She only has one final step left, the glazing. Afterward, the food is served to the guests in small plates. They are surprised by the small portions and wonder if this is all the food they have. The guests refuse the dinner because it is too little, insulting the governor and saying he doesn't deserve his position. The governor's son tries to apologize, blaming the new cook, Jin, and promises to punish her. The kitchen women are called in, and Jin notices that the guests haven't even tasted the food. They're looking for an excuse. She suggests that they try the dish because quality is more important than quantity. The guest's son doubts it and asks if the food represents all the kitchen's resources. Jin confirms it. He then threatens her. If she is lying, he will kill her. And he reveals a surprise by bringing the governor's granddaughter, Mi, threatening to take her if the food is not up to standard. He then declares that this is a royal order, and Jin realizes that the man is the selection inspector, Song. The governor begs to be allowed to keep his granddaughter, but the selection inspector, Song, threatens him and insists on tasting the food while punishing Jin. Desperate after losing her dream, Jin agrees, even if the price is her life. Song and his son taste the dish and are impressed by its flavor, but they deny their admiration, claiming it's ordinary. Jin explains how she made the spices from basic materials, but they continue to deny it. Then, the governor intervenes and tastes the dish himself, shocked by its excellence. He reveals that Song is the liar, confirming that the food is the best he's ever had, then draws his sword, challenging Song. Before the governor can kill Song and his son, Song's son intervenes and stops him, then orders the guards to kill Jin as she's the cause. Jin defends herself, insisting that her food is delicious, but just before her execution, the king arrives. Everyone bows, and Jin is shocked to see it's the same young man she met before. The king tastes her food and is deeply impressed, admitting it's the best dish he's ever tasted. Jin takes pride in herself and reveals she is from the future, 500 years ahead. The king thinks she's crazy but decides to keep her because she is an excellent chef. The king orders Jin to be imprisoned and taken with him to the palace, and also takes the governor's granddaughter, sparking the governor and his son's anger. When the governor protests, the king humiliates him and expels him from the country as punishment for his previous betrayal and causing his mother's death. In the end, we find Jin and Guillaume bound along with the other women, and Jin confirms that the king really did praise her food. Guillaume wonders why they were still imprisoned, and Jin confides in her, revealing that she is from the future. Guillaume believes her, and Jin remembers the book, which might be the way back to her time, but she doesn't know how she'll get it while being a prisoner. The king orders the release of all the women except Jin and Gyeom, keeping them locked up. However, the governor's son helps Jin escape, as he promised her. She flees with Gyeom and thanks him. During their escape, Gyeom reveals that her father was unjustly imprisoned, and her mother was killed by bandits, leaving her all alone. Jin is moved by her story and offers to take her to the future, which Gyeom agrees to. As they search for Jin's bag and the book, they are suddenly caught by the king, who recaptures them. He gives her back her bag, then throws it from the top of a mountain, mocking her that she won't escape again, before retying her and Gyeom. The king explains to his assistant that he doesn't want to kill Jin easily. He wants to keep her under his torment. Upon arriving at the palace, we meet the king's beloved, Kang, who immediately feels jealous when she hears about Jin's presence. When she sees Jin, she harbors resentment and considers her a threat to her status. The king announces that Jin belongs to him and will not speak to anyone without his permission, assuring Kang that Jin is a criminal, but he will keep her because she's a skilled cook. Kang clearly shows hostility toward Jin, while Jin recalls from the book that Kang is the most evil character in the kingdom, making her even more afraid of her. The king ends the situation with a veiled threat to Jin, saying she won't live long, which increases the tension and fuels Kang's jealousy and anger. And with that, the first 2 episodes of the series come to an end. If you'd like to see the rest of the episodes, let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more new Korean drama recaps.